So I seen this cool question on Twitter. It basically asked, what movie traumatized you as a kid? And a lot of us, we're gonna have like mixed bags. Not all of us get scared by the same things. My brother's, one of his most traumatizing movies is Hereditary. And don't get me wrong, that movie is insanely disturbing. I think it's a good watch if you're a horror fan. But I think it hit my brother a little harder than me because he's a little more religious than me. It's not that I don't believe in God, but I'm very open and I believe in I'm just open to every form of religion in a way. I just kind of exist, to be honest. I've never really indulged in being religious. So, I mean, the movie was disturbing, but not as disturbing as it could be if I was like a very religious person and believed in the stuff that was in the story, I guess. But there's a few movies that do get to me. One of them is a horror movie. I'll get towards that one towards the end. But the most traumatizing movie to me is 2012. I don't know if you guys remember that movie. It came out in 2009, and that is insane to think about because I have like vivid memories of watching this in the movie theaters with my dad. It was a packed theater, and like just looking back, I'm like, damn, like why did my dad take me to see this when I was like 8 years old? This movie came out in 2009. I was 8 years old. It's a very traumatizing movie to me because like I don't know, just the end of the world. It's one of those movies that just pretty much displays what would happen or a different style of what would happen if the end of the world were to come, like a very catastrophic kind of movie. I never really liked movies like this. It just made me very paranoid, and it did affect me long term, and I think that's why I think this is the most traumatizing movie for me because years passed. I was like 11, 12 when 2012 was the year of the world, and I actually like was super fucking paranoid. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but like on Facebook and it's off social media back then, people were saying the world was gonna end December 21st, 2021. And I remember watching all these videos about different comets that are gonna fucking come in asteroids, and I was so traumatized as a fucking kid, dude. And I remember the night actually of the 20th, and I'll never forget. I was like sitting there watching TV with like my iPod Touch, fucking crying at like 11 p.m. saying like it's all gonna end. And then I remember fucking waking up the next day, dude, and it was the 21st, and I was just so fucking confused. As a kid, I was a very impressionable person, I'm not gonna lie. Like as a child, I believed things very easily. For example, there was this trailer that I seen as a kid called Gray State, and dude, I spent like 10 minutes looking for this trailer, I'm not gonna lie. And this trailer was like basically about the end of the world, and not the end of the world, but the end of like society and the end of the government. And it was like about like the mark of the beast and like the government betraying us and all this creepy shit. And I remember as a kid, I fucking thought that shit was gonna happen, dude. I was all over that. I remember I used to like tell my mom like, can't have no money in the fucking bank, our credit cards are gonna free. Like I was like 11 years old thinking of shit like this. And I remember I was like packing lunch boxes with like fucking batteries and pocket knives and butter knives and shit. And I remember my sister that was just a year younger than me, she fucking was all traumatized thinking this show is actually gonna happen. She's actually the one that reminded me of that. It's kind of something I forgot about. I remember all this shit specifically, but I don't remember packing like supply crates. But now I do. I remember I used to get like my old lunch boxes and put random shit in it, fucking packs of crackers and a water bottle, like if that's like some survival kit. Another movie that really gets to me is Interstellar. That movie really did traumatize me as a kid too. My dad took me to see that one. I don't know why the fuck my dad thought it was cool to take me to see movies like this. I think I was a little older when I was like 13, 14 when Interstellar came out. But even that one kind of just gave me existential crisis. It's like it's kind of like one of those movies where it's like it makes you question reality, and when you're being questioned about reality, it just does scare you. I feel like, yeah, horror movies, they're scary at times, and a lot of them do have disturbing images and stories, but just movies that question what you know as existence, it's mind-boggling. Interstellar now is probably one of my more favorite movies of all time. I recently rewatched it. It's an amazing movie, very heartwarming, very touching, makes me shed a tear from how beautiful it is. The music is amazing, but as a kid, that movie fucking traumatized me, dude. It just so freaky to watch whenever like you grow up like learning about Jesus, and it makes you question yourself, to be honest. One horror movie though that really did traumatize me, which it's not even that good now that I look back at it, it's more like goofy, but Wrong Turn. It's a kind of like, it's almost low budget, I'd like to say, but the Wrong Turn movies, it's basically like these movies where these like every movie's like different, but they're about like these deformed hillbilly people that live in the woods, woods, and these people go camping, and they fucking see them, and they start killing them one by one. And I remember as a kid, this movie used to fucking mess with me, because I remember, like, as a kid, I'm not gonna lie, I would be one of those people that didn't, like, sleep easily. I'd be up late ass hours, and I remember my mom would tell me the Beverly Hillbillies are gonna get you, and she's fucking talking about these things. She's referring to these things, because I remember at my grandma's house, we used to watch movies like this. But dude, look at that face. Tell me that wouldn't fucking traumatize you as a kid. Yeah, never wanted to go in the woods. I thought those fucking people would be in there, any woods I went into. What movies traumatized you guys?